Jackie, who was that girl at that table? That was not cute. Whoever she was, put her back in the box and return to sender.
Yeah, I'll give it to you night and day. I'm talking about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
What up, you guys? How y'all doing? Y'all, let's get into this most recent episode of Married to Medicine. Things were serious in Cabo. Toya wants to sit there and complain about how embarrassing it is to walk. Girl, chill out. You was not friends with Beyonce and Jay-Z. You got all that dunk to walk off anyways. And Jackie showed an alter ego that nobody was prepared for. She had everybody running and ducking for cover. That new girl that she brought to the table, she was not here for the girls at all. But before we get into the review, I would like to do a couple of shout outs to some of you who subscribe to your girl's channel. So first, I would like to say hey to Miss Jacqueline Alexander. Hey, I appreciate the love you give me. I would also like to say hey to Miss Jill Ruff. You did a commentary, some comments down on my last review that I did for the Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion. I appreciate the love that you gave me down in the comments. And last but not least, I would also like to say hey to Miss Lorena Buford. You hit that subscribe button, and I would like to say I appreciate it. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and all of you guys are definitely helping me, get there. If I didn't get a chance to call out your name, I'm sorry. I just kind of go off of what's most recent on my notifications. But I just definitely want to let you guys know I see you down there, and I appreciate the love. So y'all, let's not waste no time. Let's get into the review of Married to Medicine. So we basically pick off where the dance, couples are trying to do the dance off for the penthouse room. Dr. Daddy Damon almost broke his neck, put all that body weight on his head. Like that, you got away with it this time, but do not do it again, Damon. And Heavenly, she was just sitting there shaking all that body she got. So they went to penthouse, but with a side of gummy panties, which Heavenly said she don't need. She said she tastes just fine. So I guess your cookie is sweet then. She definitely looked for Dr. Daddy Damon in the confessionals, talking about, right, Daddy? He's like, we not talking about that. I was like, y'all are so nasty. So everybody's getting to their rooms, and we see Quad is just walking. Simone, messy ass, put her all the way on the other side of the damn resort, basically, because she want to say, Quad needs, time for the most important of her life right now. That's herself. I'm like, dang, Simone, we know Quad's single, but like she's single AF, and now you gonna put her over there where nobody else is. And the rooms were actually pretty decent, not to be the penthouses or the penthouse suites, The rooms were very nice. So everybody's getting dressed and they're gonna reconvene for dinner. We see Mariah wants to play, the I'm sick, I'm not feeling good card. Aiden went and told everybody, she said she got cramps. Mariah ain't stupid. She knows the dinners always go left, and vacations in the past have not been good for Mariah. So she's like, I'm going to avoid this because I'm barely fitting in with these girls anyway. I'm not trying to mess up my check. So she stayed her ass back. So everybody gets on that hot ass van. They like complaining about chopped in there, screwed in there like sardines. They all cramped and stuff. But they're going into the middle of nowhere. Like it literally is desolated. And they're going on this long trail. It's dark. It's sketchy as hell. And so everybody's talking about like, dang, we about to get murdered. Like somebody's going to pop out and get us. And so Jackie comes up with the scenario of, okay, well, if somebody came out and grabbed one of us, what would we say in order for them not to do it? And Heavenly straight up said, well, bitch, you ain't got no kids, Jackie. And Jackie was like, dang. So she's like, Curtis, looks like we're in trouble. And Buffy, she's still holding on to that stuff that Jackie did, real salty in the back talking about, well, obviously I'm in trouble too, clearly. And she looked at Jackie with the side eye. I'm like, Buffy is not letting this go. So after they finally get to the restaurant, everything's nice, farm the table, as Simone wanted to sit there and say. Heavenly ain't happy with the drinks that they tried to give her. They tried to give her some little fruity cocktail. Heavenly a hard liquor drinker. She want the Hennessy because, she said he didn't make you sin, but, for me, it made me act right. Girl, who you trying to convince? But everybody sits down. Everything's nice. They start off the dinner with Jackie and Curtis saying some nice things about Simone. Basically how they were there for them when they went through that rough patch in their marriage. When Curtis decided he wanted to go on vacation with another woman, they helped Jackie get through that. So they showed appreciation. They even had their sons, Miles, and what's the other boy's name? They did like a little cute video basically saying, thank you, Mom and Dad, for putting up with us. We appreciate y'all, being an example for showing us how, basically to fight for your marriage, stuff like that. Jackie was like, your kid's gonna thank you one day. It was like a real sweet thing that they did. Well, the mood gets ruined when Contessa decides she want to ask Buffy, how her first vacation is, with all of the girls. Because for Contessa, her first vacation was basically shit because Heavenly would not stop poking at her. She's like, Heavenly likes to poke and pry at people. She especially did it to me. And Buffy's like, no, it's good so far. I actually love Heavenly. That's like my sis. But I kind of have a problem with somebody. And honestly, I have an issue with Jackie, because she hurt my feelings talking about I was infertile on stage. So everybody at the table is like, uh-oh. And Jackie's like, excuse me? And she's like, yeah, Jackie. She's like, you said I was infertile in front of everybody, and I feel a way about that. And so everybody's kind of sitting their way because nobody usually confronts Jackie. Like, there's not really been anybody in the group because Jackie's like the matriarch. She just is. And, for Buffy to kind of like confront her in front of everybody definitely was not expected. Buffy actually might be a great addition to this group for sure. Because you think she all nice and sweet, but she definitely got that little hood in her under that debutante she like talking about. So, Jackie's taking it like, well, I'm sorry if I did it, with an attitude though, talking about, my intentions were pure. I like to take, be a voice for women who go through the same thing as me. I felt like we were bonding. That was something we could bond over because, I tend to be the voice for women who decide to hide behind their pain. I was like, ooh, that was shady. Like, what you mean women who choose to hide behind their pain? Like, it's not hiding behind it if you just because you don't want to tell everybody in the goddamn world that your eggs ain't working, that they scrambled and up to no good. Like, they're no good. Like, nobody wants to admit that, especially if you're a woman who wants kids. There's some shame that comes with it. So she's basically like, you know what? I'm sorry. I didn't intend for you to do that. If anybody who knows me knows that's not what I want to do. So, Toya kind of sticks something like, Jackie, we get it. But we need to get to a point as friends where we ask, like, is it okay if we bring up certain personal things? Because for Toya, she's like, I wouldn't want anybody talking about my miscarriage. Like, that's not something you bring up to everybody. So, Jackie's like, that's after you said something? She's like, no, in general. And Buffy's like, that's just common respect. And I'm like, Jackie, the fact that you're not even seeing this, like the forest for the trees, is an issue. Because how would you feel had Buffy gone up on stage and been like, hey, anybody who's going through a hard time, Jackie, like you. Remember when Curtis cheated on you and went on vacation with another woman? You went through that. Like, that would be embarrassing as hell. That was not something like that you would appreciate. So now Jackie wants to turn into, okay, so now we're not real friends. We are now associates. And everybody's kind of like, no, Jackie, like, that's not what we're saying. And Toya had to be like, no, like, that's my story to tell. It's a story, but it's my story to tell. So now Jackie's attitude completely switches. Contessa, like, tried to, like, comfort her on her shoulder. And she's like, don't touch me, Contessa. And Toya's like, whoa, like, Jackie, who is this? And she's like, yeah, it's a new girl. You just met her. And everybody at the table is scared. Curtis knew to turn his head and look the opposite direction. Even the men were like, dang, because Cecil was in the confession. Like, I don't think, Jackie's being considerate or thinking about, Buffy's emotions. And for Simone in the confessions to kind of call out Jackie, maybe was feeling a little salty for being blasted in front of everybody, being embarrassed like that. Maybe that played a part in it. But Jackie basically says sorry just to appease Buffy because she's like, you know what? I receive it. I'm saying sorry. Done with it. And so Buffy kind of is like, okay, I'm disappointed you're acting this way. She's like, don't be. This is the last thing you're saying to me at the dinner. So it's like, okay, Jackie, you're really going to take it there. Like, that's what you're doing. So now Heavenly is sitting there like, something is wrong. Like, Buffy, you did something wrong. She's like, my heart beating fast. Jackie, don't get mad. Jackie, don't get mad. So if you did that, you did something freaking wrong. And Buffy was not here for it. She said, Heavenly, you gonna shut the hell up because that didn't happen to you. I can talk about however I want to. She's like, you should have did it in private. Pulling her to the side. That's what you do. She said, you know what, Heavenly, I about had enough of your damn mouth. And they both are just going back at it. I know, Heavenly, you want to sit there and protect Jackie and defend her. But regardless, she is wrong. She is. And the fact that she's not trying to realize it at the moment, I think she's just so stuck in the way of feeling like she's always got to be the martyr for the women who don't get to have kids and stuff like that. You don't get to, make that decision for somebody else to do that. Like, Jackie, you got to be considerate. And sometimes I honestly feel, I'm going to put my Levine Zant hat on. Jackie possibly may want Buffy to feel bad as well because she doesn't know how to handle the pain on her own. At least if she knows somebody else is suffering, it doesn't make her feel as bad. Like, it doesn't make her feel like she is the one person who has to deal with this burden. So if somebody else is feeling it, she doesn't feel as bad because somebody else's life is just as messed up as hers. And Jackie, you can try to work as much as you want, do all these different things, open up a new business, but there's always going to be that void. And unfortunately, Curtis ain't going to help you feel it. Like, you honestly could have adopted a child by now, but you're trying to appease Curtis, because you don't want kids. And now look at you, you done turned into a bitter old woman. So now Buffy and, Heavenly are cussing at each other. Contessa's like, let's go to the bathroom, Heavenly. Let's go to the bathroom. Heavenly's like, nah, bitch, I ain't got to go to the bathroom. She's like, yes, you do. That's what they do. Everybody runs to the bathroom because that's when you cool off. So they're just in there like, dang, we ain't never seen Jackie like that. Heavenly's like, I ain't never seen Jackie like that. Buffy shouldn't have did that. She's like, we all know Jackie ain't like that. And, basically trying to say, like, Buffy doesn't know Jackie. But everybody's back at the table, awkward silence. Buffy's like, she fine, I'm fine. And Eugene's trying to say, we're going to talk and, this should be, free for everybody to say what they want to do. Toya's like, well, as friends, if we can't say nothing and somebody got to get mad, like, it is what it is. So Heavenly come back to the table, that Simone finally get the food brought to the table. Jackie lost her appetite and everybody else is kind of like, just kind of like going along. And Simone kind of ends the table conversation with asking Dr. David to give us an example of how we can fix things with conflict resolution. He's a psychiatrist. He got his degree for these things. So he basically said, in order to have conflict resolution, in the beginning, you have to even understand where the other person is coming from, because you will never have resolution if you don't get it. And sometimes we forget that as people, we're so busy focused and concerned about how to prove our point that we're not listening to the other person. And that's kind of what Jackie's doing. And he made a very good point. Everybody else like, yeah, that's good. So, Jackie, take heed. So everybody finally makes it back and it's the next morning. And all the couples are basically talking about how, they were not expecting Jackie to act like that. Eugene made a very good point talking to Toya, like, yeah, Jackie, you can be, these things for all these other women, but you did that at the expense of one woman. You tried to comfort all these people, but at the expense of Buffy. And not without her permission. You told a whole freaking stage of people that she didn't even know all that, Jackie. Like, you a doctor, like she said, you OBGYN, you should know better than that. Buffy's in her room going ham to my, Jackie, she want to play Mother Teresa, but I see her now, she's slick, she got Heavenly as her little puppet, basically saying everything that she want to say, so Heavenly can feel good like she's in the doctor society. But she's like, I'm a debutante, I can act like a debutante even though I wasn't last night, but I can be around Jackie. So Jackie's outside talking with Curtis and discussing how, she finally says she realized how she went wrong, and, she can't make Buffy's pain, her pain, Buffy's purpose, or something like that. And it's like, girl, why? Pain, purpose, whatever, like, wrong is wrong. So, but she's not really even sorry, though, because now she wants to go into, I'm on this apology tour. First Mariah, and now Buffy. I'm sick of my friends asking me to apologize for things they know that I didn't mean to do and stuff like that. So you're not really sorry. That's the problem, Jackie. You're not seeing your fault in this. And then it's like, I'm not going to be doing this nowhere. That everyone feels like they can talk to me. They're taking that for weakness. And y'all, Jackie's messed up. Like, that's not right. So everybody's going to do the camelback riding. Everybody's coming out. They're drinking 9 o'clock in the morning with tequila. Mariah came out finally, fresh as a daisy. And Toya's like, this girl is probably back having a 5-star meal. Mariah knew better. And everybody gets together and they get in the van. Everybody's hot and stuff. They make it probably 5 minutes down the road. That bitch shut down. And everybody's stuck in the damn car hot. So now everybody's getting out. They decide to walk back to the hotel. And Toya is throwing the biggest bitch fit. Talking about, we don't do this back in Atlanta. We walking on the side of the freeway. How embarrassing. It's like, girl, who you talking about? It's not like you in this, like, class A celebrity list. Like, it's not gonna kill you to walk across the street. You are in Mexico. Don't nobody know you, Toya. So they finally make it back to the hotel, to the bar, and everybody just kind of drink to just pass the time, resettle themselves. Well, Damon decides he wants to join the fun. He's drinking tequila too. And Heavenly on the side like, Damon, we not doing that. Jackie, can you go tell Damon to stop drinking? And, Jackie go over there and she's like, Heavenly says, Dr. Damon, like, can you, ease up on the drinking? I guess Damon's not a big drinker. Heavenly's the drinker in the family. So when she see Damon do it, she don't like it. So he's like, tell Heavenly I listened to her for 22 years. Let me have one goddamn day. So she runs back and tells Heavenly, Jackie's like, Damon said give him 1 day. Can he have 1 day? He listened to you for 22 years. She like, no. I was like, come on, Heavenly, lay up off the man. He a doctor. You say he all this good, man. He can have 1 day. So they decide they're going to go to the pool instead of doing the camelback riding. So everybody come back with their bathing suit, everything. They sit down at the table. As soon as Contessa and Scott were in their confessional, talk about, yes, finally we're going to chill, relax, no exercise. And here comes Simone, her damn bridal bathing suit. I don't know what kind of bathing suit. She had on shoulder pads on that thing. Talking about, let's do an exercise. And so they got questions. And the first question was for Damon to answer, which was, if your spouse cheats, can you do the same and it be a wash? Basically, I cheat in retaliation, but it don't mean nothing. And he's like, I wouldn't do it, but you know, he understands people have emotions and they can do it, but he wouldn't. Dr. Damon, you know better, because Heavenly would cut your junk off if you ever did something like that. You know, Jackie was joking in her confession, like, you know, Curtis should be happy I'm not Lorena Bobbitt, or, you know, I don't have PTSD. Girl, y'all don't think you went in on Curtis harder than Jackie. I really don't. But you know, that's your man. You want him back. You do you, boo-boo. So then the next question was, should, if you want to go back to school, start a business, or, you know, change professions, do you need permission from your spouse? And everyone's like, no, you don't need permission, but it's considered you have to, you know, ask them, because regardless, at the end of the day, a family, what one person does, it affects the whole household. And, you know, Mariah agreed with that. Toya was kind of saying, like, was basically saying, you know, it's, you know, my job to convince you, like, this is good for us. This is going to help us improve. And Contessa starts coming in, because, you know, her and Scott been having this issue. She's like, you know, I get that. That's understandable. But, you know, as women, sometimes, you know, we'll be there for the man. He can change professions all day he want. But as soon as a woman does it, it's completely the opposite. Because Scott's like, oh, you know, Contessa's trying to make it personal. She's like, no. But, you know, because if Damon or Cecil or whatever, y'all change professions, you know, Scott and Helly, they were there for you and stuff like that. And Helly's going off to my, oh no, she killed me when she was like, oh, you know, we can change professions, it'll be okay. You know, Scott and Contessa, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't ask for permission. I said, Heavenly, your messy ass. But yeah, so, you know, Heavenly was going on about how, you know, she could change and, you know, Damon would be there. And Contessa's like, stop. That's what Damon does for you. She's like, I don't have that. And all of a sudden we get to the confessional part where her and Scott were in the room. And she's like, you know, go ahead and change professions. You don't have, you only have one life. YOLO, do what you want to do. You know, you can do everything you want to do. And Scott gets up and goes to the bathroom because he's not trying to argue. And then Contessa is stuck there bawling, and she's talking about, oh my God, here I am alone again. I'm always by myself. And like, she gets up and walks away. Obviously, this is a nerve struck for her, but Contessa, you want to put this blame on Scott when you decided to leave the program. Nobody told you to do that, honey. You decided to do that. And honestly, you did it because you were guilty about how it was affecting your kids. But in order not to make yourself feel bad for being a bad mother of how your parents are, about how your kids are reacting to it, you need to make it about Scott. And unfortunately, it's not going to work that way. And as much as you want to say Scott's not helping fix something, as much as the other person has to be there for fixing, you have to be there for receiving, you know, all the changes and all that type of stuff. And you're not being that open, Contessa. You're just not. So that's where the episode ends, and we see next week it gets a lot more personal between them two. So you guys tell me what you think about the episode. Do you think Jackie was wrong? Is she wrong for not, you know, considering Buffy's side? In regards to Scott and Contessa, who do you think is wrong? Who do you think should really be changing things? Thank you guys for tuning in. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like this video, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Deuces.